Hi students. So in our previous video we were discussing regarding the continuity which is the first part in the continuity and differentiability chapter. So first we were concentrated upon the concept that is continuity. So in the previous video we have came across the definition of continuity and how we are going to check whether the function is continuous or not at a particular point, and the next whether the function is continuous or not on the set of whole domain. So we have discussed regarding these things in our previous video. So let us continue our discussion in this video from the previous video. So in here the first thing which we are continuing here is, let us discuss the continuity of the function f, which is defined by f of x is equal to 1 by x, where x is not equal to 0. So clearly understand here. So we need to discuss the continuity of the function. So the function is nothing but f of x is equal to 1 by x. So clearly the function is not defined at x is equal to 0. So what is the domain of this function? Clearly the domain of this function is set of whole real number except 0, right? Because the function is not at all defined at x is equal to 0. So our thing or the domain here is what? Set of real numbers except 0. So this is the domain of the given function. So now let us see whether this function is continuous or not. So clearly, to check whether the function is continuous or not, what is the thing it should satisfy? That is, limit as extending to c f of x, it should be equal to the value of the function which is defined at x is equal to c. So now I will consider any one of the any one of the numbers c which is belonging to the set of real numbers, but c is not equal to 0. So I'll consider one number which is belonging to the set of real number. Clearly that number is not equal to c. Sorry, that number is not equal to 0. So what happens now? If you find the limit of that function, limit of that function has extending to c, means if I consider the value of the function has that x is approaching towards the c, what is the limit of that function? Let us see. So has limit x is approaching towards the c, the function is 1 by x. So clearly what happens? It is equal to 1 by c by applying the limit. Then what is the value of the function at x is equal to c? At x is equal to c, the value of the function is equal to what? 1 by c. Clearly here limit of the function, that is limit as extending to c f of x is equal to f of c, so which is equal to 1 by c here. So clearly what we can say here, so here I have chosen one number which is arbitrary, which is belonging to the set of real numbers, but that is not equal to 0. So I can say that generalizing, therefore f is continuous, f it is a continuous at every point in the domain of the function. In the domain of the function, what is the domain of the function here? Domain of the function is set of real number except 0. So except 0, if I choose any one of the real number, here c which I have chosen is an arbitrary, it can be any real number. So generalizing, so when I chosen any one of the arbitrary real number, for that arbitrary it is satisfying, means if I choose any of the arbitrary real number, it is satisfying for all those things. So I can say that it is the function is continuous for every point in the domain of the function. So by this we can say that the function is continuous. So in your NCERT textbook, this function, that is f of x is equal to 1 by x. So through this example or through this function, they have explained the concept of infinity. Explain the concept of infinity. So I will try to brief this concept of infinity through this example here. So clearly the function here in the question, they have defined this function except at the x is equal to 0, right? Suppose if I consider the function f of x is equal to 1 by x and try to get the value of the function as it is approaches towards the 0. as x is approaching towards the 0, what is the value of f of x? Let us see here. That is approaching towards the 0 means, that is if 0 is, this point is 0 means one is approaching towards the 0 from the right side, another is approaching towards the 0 from the left side, right? So now let us find the value of f of x is equal to 1 by x near 0. So near 0 means around this one, approaching towards the left and approaching towards the right. So first thing, let us see from the right side. What is the value of the function f of x is equal to 1 by x near 0 from the right side? Okay. So from the right side means here the value of x and here the value of f of x is equal to 1 by x, right? So if I do the column means, suppose if I take the value of x is equal to 1 means the value of this one is 1 by 1, which is equal to 1. Suppose if I take this x value has 0.3 means the thing is 1 by 0.3. So what is the value of 1 by 0.3? It is nothing but 3.333. It goes on like this. Suppose if I choose the value of x is equal to 0.2 means then 1 by 0.2, it is nothing but what? It is nothing but 5. So if I choose the value 0.1, so 0.1 means it is nothing but 10 to the power of minus 1, that is nothing but 1 by 10. 0.1 is nothing but 1 by 10 value. So if I choose x value as equal to 10 to the power of minus 1 means what is the value of f of x? F of x value is 10. If I choose 0.01, it is nothing but 1 by 10 square. So if I choose the value of x is equal to 1 by 10 square, f of x is equal to 10 square. If I so on, if I choose the value of x as 1 by 10 to the power n means the value of f of x is 10 to the power of n. So you can see here, as we are approaching towards the 0. So if I am going towards the 0, it is not exactly 0. 1 by 10 to the power of n means it is nothing but 10 to the power of minus n. It is not exactly equal to 0. It is like 0.0000, where 0 is n times. Okay, so here 0 is upon m times. So it is approaching towards the 0 but not exactly equal to 0. So here you can see here, as x is approaching towards the 0, very nearer to the 0, the value of the function, that is f of x is equal to 1 by x, it is goes on increasing here. So first was 1, 3.335, drastically goes on increasing, but where we can't be defined. So I can write this drastic increase, or we can write this one as limit x is approaching towards the 0. From which side? From the right side, that is the right hand limit of the 0. The function f of x, which is equal to what here? Limit as x approaching towards the 0 plus a function was 1 by x. What is the value here? It goes on increasing, drastic increase, but which is not at all defined here. So we can represent that drastic increase or the higher number, which is has equal to what? It is a greater number, which is not at all defined also. So we are going to represent that number as by plus infinity. So we represent that number by plus infinity. So we can say that has limit x approaching towards, has the function f of x, it is approaching towards the 0 from the right side. The value of the function, it will be equal to plus infinity, because the number goes on increasing, the greater number, where that number does not belong to the set of real number, which is not defined upon the set of real numbers. So we call that number as plus infinity. Similarly, we can see the approach from the left side also. Means when the function is approaching towards the 0 from the left side. So from the left side means, again if I use the same tabulation means, here also I am using the same numbers with the negative sign. That's all the difference here. So that is, if it is minus 1, it will be equal to minus 1 by 1, which is equal to minus 1. Suppose if I choose minus 0.3, it will be equal to minus 3.333, so on. If I use minus 0.2, it will be equal to minus 5. So minus 10 to the power of minus 1 means it will be equal to minus 10. Minus 10 to the power of minus 2 means it will be equal to minus 10 square. So minus 10 to the power of minus n becomes minus 10 to the power of n. So if I write it symbolically, means what happens here again has limit x is approaching towards the 0 from the left side, that is 0 minus f of x. It will be equal to, has limit x is approaching towards the 0 from the left side, the function is 1 by x, it will be equal to minus infinity, because here you can see the greater number which is towards the left side. So if I try to draw the graph of this function, means how it will grows, means has x is approaching towards the 0, you can see it is x is equal to 1 by x. So the graph of this function is nothing but like this, as is x is approaching towards the 0. You can see it is approaching towards the 0, but it is not equal to 0. The value goes on drastic increase. You can see the graph of the function like this. It is like this. Okay, clearly as I said that this function is continuous when x is not equal to 0. So when I said this function is continuous, the domain of the function was what? Set of real numbers minus 0. So in the domain the 0 was not at all existed. So since 0 was not at all existed, so that is not become the point of continuity here, I mean point of discontinuity, because 0 is not at all defined in the domain. So we are lifting the pen at that point where the function is not at all defined. Understood? So if I try to draw this graph continuously, means I am lifting this pen at that point where the function is not defined. Here the function is not defined at 0. So at that point I am lifting the pen and again trying to draw the graph. So the function is continuous at all the point where the domain is defined. So it is discontinuous at that point where the function is not defined, or where the function is not defined at that domain. So this is the graph of the what the function f of x is equal to 1 by x. Through this they have explained the concept of infinity. So let us move to the next question. Here they are asking us to discuss the continuity of the function. The function is defined like this. So here you can see that the function f of x is equal to x plus 2 when x is less than or equal to 1, and x minus 2 when x is greater than or equal to 1. So clearly x is less than or equal to 1 and greater than or equal to 1. Clearly the function is defined here. The function is defined here at all points of the real numbers. At all points of the real numbers. So the domain of the function is what here? Clearly the domain of the function is set of whole real numbers, right? So it is complete set of real numbers. You can see x is less than or equal to 1 means including 1, less than or equal to 1, all these points are included. Greater than 1 means from 1 excluding 1, all the points are included. So from the whole set we can see the domain is the set of whole real numbers. Again they have said to discuss the continuity of the function. So clearly the domain of the function here, it is, if I split the domain of the function, I can split the domain into 3 parts here. So the first part is when x is less than 1. This is one part, okay? And there is when x is greater than 1. Another part is when x is equal to 1. So these are the 3, if I split the whole domain set of real number into 3 parts. So in all the 3 parts the function is defined. When x is strictly less than 1 means at that time the function is x plus 2. When x is greater than 1 means at all points, if you take any point from the x greater than 1 means at all those points the function is x minus 2. When I say x is equal to 2, sorry, when I say the function x is equal to 1, when I need to check whether the function is continuous at x is equal to 1, clearly the function splits up at that point. So the left hand approach, when we are approaching towards the x is equal to 1 from the left side, and when we are approaching towards the 1 from the right side, both the functions are different. So at the point x is equal to 1, we need to check whether the function is continuous or not. So we need to check now whether the function is continuous at this set of domain and this set of domain as well as this set of domain. So if I take case 1, that is our x is less than 1. Okay, so when x is less than 1, if I choose any c which is less than 1, when I say x is less than 1, if I consider this as a number line and 0 and this is 1, means x is less than 1 means obviously the set of numbers which are lying here excluding 1. So I choose one number, say c, which is strictly less than 1, right? So I choose a number which is c, which is strictly less than 1, where c is any real number which is strictly less than 1. Clearly, what is the function value of c? So when we say, if we choose any number which is less than 1, the function is x plus 2. So what is the value of that point? So I choose that point c which is less than 1. What is the function value? F of c is equal to c plus 2. Now let us find what is the limit of this function. Limit of the function, that is when x is less than 1, what is the function? That is x plus 2. What is the limit of this function when x is approaching towards the c? Okay, so as limit x is approaching towards the c, the function f of x, what is the function? Since c is less than 1, the function here is obviously what? It is x plus 2. So it is x plus 2 and x is approaching towards c means what does the function value becomes? It becomes, limit value, it is c plus 2. Clearly the function value and the limit value both are coinciding. So clearly we can say that the function is continuous when x is less than 1. So when we choose any number which is less than 1 means at all those points the function is continuous. So in the number line, if I choose any number which is strictly less than 1 from all these numbers, if we choose any number, the function is continuous upon all these upon all these numbers. So similarly, if I move to the case 2, that is when x is greater than 1. X is greater than 1 means if I am choosing any numbers which is strictly greater than 1. So if I choose any number, say c here from this set. So if I choose a c which is strictly greater than 1 means what is the function value, or what is the value of the function of f of c? So when clearly c is greater than 1, any number which is greater than 1 means the function is obviously x minus 2. So f of c becomes what? C minus 2. So this is the value of the function of the point c. Then what is the value of the limit of the function when x is approaching towards the c? So that is, as limit x is approaching towards the c, what is the value of the function? Since c is greater than 1, so what is the value of the function, or what is the function here? The function is here is x minus 2. So since function is x minus 2 and x is approaching towards the c, the value, if we apply the limit means we are going to get c minus 2. So clearly the limit of the function and the value of the function at x is equal to c, both are coinciding. So we can say that the function is continuous. It is continuous at where for all the values of x which is strictly greater than 1. So if I choose any values which is strictly greater than 1, from here to here, if I choose any values means upon all these points the function is continuous. Now the thing is left out is whether the function is continuous at x is equal to 1 or not. So let us check that x is equal to 1. So when I say x is equal to 1, clearly the function splits at 1. So when x is approaching towards the 1 from the left side, this is the function. When it is approaching to, when a function is approaching towards the x from the right side, the function is x minus 2. So to check the limit of the function at x is equal to 1 means it should satisfy the right hand limit and left hand limit, both should coincide. So to find the limit of the function at x is equal to 1, we should find the left hand limit and right hand limit here. So let us find what is the left hand limit. So what is the left hand limit? That is, as limit x is approaching towards the 1 minus f of x. So since x is approaching towards the 1 from the left side, what is the function? So what is the function approaching towards the left side means the function is x plus 2. So x plus 2 means if I apply the limit here means 1 plus 2, it becomes what? 3. So the left hand limit of the function is 3. What is the right hand limit? That is, as limit x is approaching towards the 1 from the right side f of x. So limit x is approaching towards the 1 from the right side. When x is approaching towards the 1 from the right side, what is the function? It is x minus 2. So clearly 1 minus 2, it is what? It is minus 1. Clearly we can see here our left hand limit is not equal to right hand limit. So when the left hand limit and right hand limit are not coinciding, clearly the limit of the function does not exist. As limit extending to f of x, this value does not exist. When limit of the function is only not existing means we can say the function is not continuous. It is not continuous at x is equal to 1. So the function is continuous when x is less than 1. When it was greater than 1, the function was continuous, but at x is equal to 1, the function is not continuous. So we can say that the point of discontinuity is at x is equal to 1. Suppose if I try to draw the graph of this function means, so when x is less than 1, what was the function? Function f of x was what? X plus 2, right? Yes, when x is less than 1, x plus 2. So if I choose when x is equal to 1, the function is equal to 3. So x plus 2, it is a linear function. If I choose x is equal to 0 means the function value is equal to 2. So we got the 2 points means I can draw a straight line since it is a linear function. So when x is greater than 1 means at that time the function was x minus 2. So it was x minus 2, 1 was not included. If I choose 2 means it was equal to 0. If I choose 3 means it was equal to 1. So the point or the graph of the function will be like this, where 1 is not included. This will be the graph of the function. For when x is less than 1, it will be the graph. When x is greater than 1, it will be the graph. So if I try to draw the graph at the point x is equal to 1, I will lift my pen and try to draw the graph here. So x is equal to 1 is included in the domain. So the point of discontinuity means what? The point of discontinuity here is that x is equal to 1. So at that point I am lifting my pen. So the function is not continuous at x is equal to 1. So clearly we can say that the function is discontinuous at x is equal to 1, or the function is not continuous at x is equal to 1. So this will become the graph of the given function. So let us move to the next question. Here they are asking us again to discuss the continuity of the function. So the function is defined like this. When x is less than 0, it was x plus 2. When x is strictly greater than 0, the function is minus x plus 2. So clearly what is the domain of this function? So I am going with what is the domain of the function here. So clearly the domain of the function is clearly the set of real numbers except 0. Here the function is defined when x is strictly less than 0, that is x plus 2. When x is strictly greater than 0, it is minus x plus 2. So clearly the function is not defined. What is the value of the function when x is equal to 2 here? So at that point the function is not defined, means it is excluded from the set of real number. So again here I can split this domain into 2 by looking into the given function. That is, in the domain 1, the function is defined for all x is less than 0. If d2 is the domain 2 means what? It is when x is strictly greater than 0. Now let us see here whether the function is continuous or not, or upon this domain, that is set of real numbers minus 0, whether the function is continuous or not. Let us see here. So the case 1. So what is the case 1? In the case 1, let us see whether the function is given function, it is continuous or not when x is strictly less than 0. So when x is strictly less than 0 means, if I consider a number line, means if this one is 0 means clearly strictly less than 0 means all these points which are strictly less than 0. From this point, if I choose any number c which is strictly less than 0, okay, where c is not equal to 0, because 0 is not at all defined in the set of domain here. So if I choose a c which is belonging to this domain where c is strictly less than 0 means, then let us see what is the value of the function and limit value. So f of c, what is the value of the function at x is equal to c here? At x is equal to c, value of the function is c plus 2. So now let us find what is the limit of the function as x is approaching towards this c. So as x is approaching towards the c function, so c is less than 0. So what is the value of the function? Since c is less than 0, value of the function is here is x plus 2. By applying the limit, it becomes c plus 2. So clearly the limit of the function and the value of the function is coinciding. So we can say that the function is continuous for all real numbers, for x which is less than 0, or the function is continuous in the domain d1 where the d1 is nothing but x less than 0. So in this domain, that is d1, when x is less than 0, upon all these points the function is continuous now. So now let us see in the case 2, when x is strictly greater than 0, whether the function is continuous or not. So if I choose the case 2, so case 2, the domain is x is strictly greater than 0. Since x is strictly greater than 0, I will choose one point which is say c, where c is not equal to 0. So where c is strictly greater than 0. Since c is strictly greater than 0, let us see what is the value of the function at x is equal to c. So at x is equal to c, the value of the function, since c is greater than 0 here, so what is the value of the function here? Minus x plus 2. So the function value becomes minus c plus 2 since c is greater than 0 here. Now what is the limit of this function as x is approaching towards the c? As limit x is approaching towards the c, what is the function? C is greater than 0, the function becomes what? Minus x plus 2. So as limit extending to c, the function is minus x plus 2. Since x is approaching towards the 0, the function, the limit, by applying the limit, it becomes minus c plus 2. So clearly the limit of the function and the value of the function is coinciding here. Since these are coinciding, we can say that the function is continuous. It is continuous for all real numbers in the for all real numbers when x is greater than 0. For when x is greater than 0, it is continuous here. So if I so here we are having only two domains, d1 and d2. In d1 also the function is continuous, in the d2 also the function is continuous. So we can say that the function is continuous. Clearly the function is continuous in the domain, in the given domain here. Clear? ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರುವ domain ಅಲ್ಲಿ function continuous. Okay. So if I try to analyze this function through the graph, means the graph of this function, how it goes means, so the function is when x is less than 0, it is x plus 2. So if I choose any points which is x is less than 2, means here when it is minus 2 it is 0, when it is minus 1 it is plus 1. So when x value at 0 it is not at all defined. So the function graph when x is less than 0, it becomes like this. At 0 it is not at all defined, so I put one node here. So when x is greater than 0, if I choose value x is equal to 1 here, it becomes plus 1. When x is equal to 2, means it becomes 0. So the if I try to join all these points, the graph of the function becomes like this. So clearly if I try to draw the graph, I'll start from here, means at when it comes to 0, I lift the pen, and means up to 0 here it is defined, at 0 it is not defined. So that's why I put that one here not. After the point 0, again the functions all are defined. So I will lift the pen here at 0 or at this node, right? At this point I am going to lift the pen, but clearly that point is not in the word domain. Clearly that point is not in the domain. So we are lifting the pen here at that point where at one point where which is not at all defined in the domain. So since that point is not defined in the domain, we can't say it is not continuous, or we are lifting the pen here and this graph is not continuous. We can't say like that. But at all those points which are defined in the domain, to all those points the function is continuous. So the function is continuous for the points which are defined in the domain. That's why I am writing the domain in the beginning itself, to understand the concept when we are doing the graph. So try to, before analyzing the question, first analyze what is the domain of the given function. So when you understand what is the domain of the given function, you can understand the concept even much more clear or better way. So let us move to the next question. So here again they are asking us to discuss the continuity of the function. So in the continuity of the function, most of the questions are like this itself. We need to discuss the continuity of the function, or we need to check whether the function is continuous or not, or if it is not continuous, means we need to find out the point of discontinuity. So only these questions which are included in the continuity. But the thing here is understanding the concept and how you understood and how you are putting that concept in your answer, that matters a lot here. So here it is purely based upon the capacity of understanding this theory. So clearly again they ask us here to discuss the continuity here. So look into the domain. So here clearly the function is defined. When x is greater than or equal to 0, it is x. When x is less than 0, it is x square. So clearly the function is defined for all the points set of real numbers. So the domain is here what? Here the domain is clearly the set of whole real numbers. Again here this domain here, it is defined into the three parts. Okay. So the first part we can say that d1, it is when that is x is greater than 0. That is x. Another one is domain d2 when x is strictly less than 0. Another one is d3 when x is equal to 0, because when x is equal to 0, when the function is approaching towards the 0, from the left side it is x square, from the right side it is x. So these are the three set of the whole domain. If I split it into the three parts, means d1, d2, d3, one by one. So if I choose, now we need to check the continuity, whether the function is continuous or not at all these domains. So the case 1, what? Case 1 is what? Whether the function is continuous or not when x is strictly greater than 0. So when x is strictly greater than 0, the function f of x is what here? F of x is equal to x here. So if I choose any point, say c, which is greater than 0, means clearly the function f of c is equal to c here. Then what is the limit of the function? Limit as x is approaching towards the c, f of x, which is equal to, as limit x is approaching towards the c, our function is x. Since x is approaching towards the c, it becomes z. So here limit of the function and the value of the function at x is equal to c, both are coinciding. Therefore the function is continuous. Function is continuous when x is greater than 0. When? So now case 2. What is that case 2? When x is less than 0. When x is less than 0, what is the function? F of x is equal to x square. So f of x is equal to x square. If I choose any point, say c, which is say c which is strictly less than 0, means what? Our f of c becomes what? C square here. Then what is the limit of the function as x is approaching towards that c which is strictly less than 0? So the function, when limit and x is approaching towards the c, where c is less than 0, the function is our x square. So the limit, when we apply the limit, it becomes c square. Clearly the limit of the function and the value of the function is coinciding. Therefore I can say that the function is continuous when x is strictly less than 0. Now it comes with the case 3. So we need to check whether the function is continuous or not at x is equal to 0. So when we are talking about x is equal to 0, means whether what is the value of the function at x is equal to 0? That is f of 0 is equal to what? Here the function is defined at x is equal to 0 has x. So f of 0 is 0. So the function value at x is equal to 0 is 0. Now we need to find the limit of the function. So when we are finding the limit of the function at x is equal to 0, means at one particular point, that is 0, we need to find what is the value of the limit of the function when x is approaching towards the 0 from the left side and the right side, because the function is splitted up at 0. So when x is approaching towards the 0, from the left side means it is x square, from the right side means it is x. So has limit x is approaching towards the 0 from the right side, what is the function? So when x is approaching towards the 0 from the right side, the function f of x is what? Here it is equal to x. By applying the limit, it becomes 0. Similarly, if I find what is the limit of the function when x is approaching towards the 0 from the left side, means what is the value of the function when x is approaching towards the 0 from the left side, means it is equal to what? Clearly it is equal to x square. So when x is, by applying the limit, it becomes 0. Clearly the left hand limit and right hand limits are coinciding. Therefore, limit has x is approaching towards the 0, the function becomes what? 0. Because both are coinciding and the value is equal to 0, so the limit of the function is equal to 0. Now you can see clearly that the limit of the function and the value of the function at x is equal to 0 are coinciding. Therefore, limit as extending to 0 f of x, which is equal to f of 0, which is equal to 0. So the limit of the function at x is equal to 0 and the value of the function at x is equal to 0, both are coinciding. Therefore the function is continuous. It is continuous at x is equal to 0. So clearly the function is continuous when x is greater than 0. The function is continuous at x is strictly less than 0. The function is continuous at x is equal to 0. So the function is continuous at whole part of the domain, because the domain, complete domain, is split into the three parts. So these three parts combine together and give us the set of whole real number. So when x is greater than 0, it is continuous. When x is less than 0, it is continuous. When x is equal to 0, it is continuous. So the function is continuous at whole set of domains. So if I try to draw the graph of this function, means, so when x is less than 0, it is x square. So x square means we know the graph, how it becomes. The graph of the function is like this. It becomes little curve here. So the graph of the function is curve, which is a standard graph. I know that one. Even you people know that one. So this is the graph of the function f of x is equal to x square. So the next is when x is greater than 0, it is equal to x, and which is a linear function. So it is a straight line. This is not a straight line, it is a curve, and this is a straight line. So this is the function f of x is equal to x. So when x is equal to 0, the function is defined as what? When x is equal to 0, it is equal to x. So 0 means 0. So clearly, if I try to draw the graph, means it becomes like this straight line. So I can draw the graph without lifting my pen continuously to all the points which is defined in the set of our domain, that is the set of real number. So clearly the function is continuous. So the next question, it is they are asking us to show that every polynomial function is a continuous function. So if I say polynomial function, means how it will be? It will be like 3x square plus 2x plus 1. It is a polynomial function. Or x to the power 4 plus 1. It is a polynomial function. X cube plus 2x square plus 3x plus 1. It is a polynomial function. So you can see these are the example for the polynomial function. If I generally write a polynomial function, say if p is any polynomial function, means if I generalize and write, means it will become our polynomial function, where our a0, a1, a2, so on, all these are the set of real numbers which belongs to the set of real numbers, and an is not equal to 0. So clearly the polynomial function, if I define any one of the polynomial function, means it is defined for all set of real numbers, right? It is defined for all set of real numbers. So if I choose, since the polynomial function is defined for every real numbers or for all set of real numbers, means if I choose any number, since the function is defined for all real numbers, so the domain of the function is what here? The set of whole real numbers, right? So if I choose any c which is belonging to that real numbers, then clearly what happens to our p of c, means what happens, that is a0 plus a1c plus a2c square plus so on plus an c power n, right? So this becomes the value of the function. F of c becomes like this. So what is the limit of the function as x is approaching towards the c? So clearly the yeah, sorry, here the function itself I have taken p right in the beginning, so it becomes p of c, it becomes p of x. So value of the function, what happens as x is tending to c means if I write the function a naught plus a1x plus a2x squared plus so on plus an x power n. So as x is approaching towards the c means it becomes a naught a1c plus a2 c square plus so on plus an c power n. So clearly the value of the function and the limit of the function at x tending to 0 both are coinciding. So clearly the function is continuous at x is equal at here point x is equal to c, but here c is any arbitrary number which is belonging to the set of real numbers. So if I generalize means the function or the polynomial function is continuous for every real numbers or for at every point of the real numbers. So we can say that every polynomial function is continuous because here I have taken a general polynomial function. I didn't took in any one particular polynomial function. I took a general representation of a polynomial. So if a general representation of a polynomial is continuous for every point of the real numbers means then any polynomial function becomes what? Continuous at every point of the real number. Thus we have proved that every polynomial function is continuous. So let us move to the next question. Here in the next question they are asking find the points of discontinuity of greatest integer function. So we know that the greatest integer function is defined in the form of f of x is equal to box x, where box x means what does that mean? It is the greatest integer which is less than or equal to x. So clearly if I say a greatest integer function means if I take a point 0.1 means what happens? The function f of 0.1 is equal to box 0.1 which is equal to 0. So the greatest integer which is less than or equal to this one. So which is that integer which is less than 0.1? It is 0. Suppose if I take 2.3 means what is the value? It is equal to 2. If I take 3.5 means what is the value? It is equal to 3. So this is what the greatest integer function is saying. So clearly we know that. So we know the graph. We have learned regarding the graph of the greatest integer function in our class 11th. So how the graph of the function will be? So if I choose any number from 0 to 1, if I choose any number from 0 to 1 means the function will be what? The function value it will be equal to 0 itself. So up to 0 to 1. If I choose any value from 1 to 2 means the function value it will be equal to 1 itself up to the point 0.99. If I choose any value from 2 to 3 means the function value it will be equal to 2 up to the point 0.2.9999. If I choose any value from 3 to 4 means the function value will be equal to 3 itself up to 3.999. So this is from towards the positive number. If I come towards the negative numbers means if I choose any value from 0 to minus 1 means the function value it will be equal to minus 1 itself. So if I choose any values from minus 2 to minus 1 means the function value will be equal to minus 2. So if I choose any value from minus 3 to minus 2 means the function value will be what? It will be equal to minus 3. So this is the graph of the greatest integer functions. So clearly by looking into the graph itself you can say that the function is not at all continuous because we are lifting the points. If you are drawing any graph means from here to here I will draw for the next point from 1 means I am lifting my pen. So for each points you can see I have lifted the pen for many times. So now you need to say at which point the functions are discontinuous here. So through which points and all the functions are discontinuous. So that is what the question they are asking. They are not asking to check whether the function is continuous or not. Here they are asking us to discuss at which points and all the functions are discontinuous. So clearly if I explain the thing by looking into the graph means you can see here the functions are discontinuous at the points of integer, right? So if I choose any points from 0 to 1, like 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, any numbers between 0 to 1. So any points which are lying between any two integers, the points which are lying between any two integers, so all these points are what? They are belonging to the set of real numbers, right? So if I choose any real numbers lying between two integers, means at all those points the functions are continuous. So from 0 to 1, if I consider our domain restricted to 0 to 1 only, means between 0 to 1 if I choose any point, means those are continuous. At that integer, that is at 1, the continuity breaks up. I lift my pen and draw the point here and continuous. So again, if I choose any point between 1 and 2, so between 1 and 2 the function is again continuous. At 2 the continuity breaks. I lift my pen and start here. So now again, if I choose any number between 2 to 3, means to all those set of real numbers which are not equal to the integers which are lying between 2 to 3, at all those points again the function is continuous. At 3 the continuity again breaks. I lift my pen and start continuing here. So you can say that at the points of discontinuity, we can see the discontinuity at the point or at the set of integers. So all where and all the integers are there, so all those integral points are what? The point of discontinuity. Through the graph I can say that the point of discontinuities are what? All those points which are the integral points, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4. All those integral points are the points of discontinuity. So how we can put it down? So again here, what is the domain? By looking into the function f of x is equal to box x, we can say that the domain is defined for the set of whole real numbers. Here I am splitting this domain into two parts. How I am splitting means, first part, the set of all real numbers, except integers, that is, if set of real numbers minus integers. So here it includes all the real numbers except integers. So what are those integers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, minus 1, minus 2. So all those integers are excluded from the real numbers. So then what and all is there in that set? If we exclude the if we exclude the set of integers, means what are the points in that domain? That is these points like 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. All these points becomes what? The element of this domain. And another set of domain as what? Set of integers. First set of all real numbers excluding the integers, and the second set as what? Set of integers. Now by combining these two, if I call this one as D1 and this one as D2, means clearly D1 union D2 will give us what? It will give us set of all real numbers. So case 1 including the domain 1, that is, what is that domain 1? Set of all real numbers excluding integers. So if I choose a C which is belonging to the D1, so I choose one number which is belonging to the D1, so that what is that D1? Set of all real numbers excluding Z. So clearly what is the value of the function at this point? So clearly C is what? It is one of the real number which is not equal to integer. So clearly what is the value of that function here? So clearly the value of that function or value of this point, that is C, which is belonging to D1, it is nothing but box C, because clearly C belonging to D1 means C, it might be any 2.3 or 3.5 or like this, but that C is not equal to 2, 3. That is what D1 is saying. So if I choose a point C has equal to 2.3, means then what is f of 2.3? F of 2.3 is nothing but box 2.3. What is box 2.3? It is 2, right? So that is what the function is saying. So here domain is R minus Z. We are not talking about what is the range of the function. We are talking only about here domain of the function. If I choose a domain that is r minus z, where c belonging to that r minus z means then the function value f of c will become box C. Then what is the limit of the function as x is approaching towards the c? So when x is approaching towards the c, the function f of x is, the function is f of x, then that function is nothing but box x. So it will be equal to box C. So clearly for all those points here, the limit of the function is coinciding with the value of the function. So the function is continuous. Here the function is continuous. But at what point the functions are continuous here? The functions are continuous at all those points, which are not equal to integers. That only what I said in the beginning. So if I choose any points between 0 to 1, at all those points the function is continuous. When it comes to 1, the continuity breaks because I lift my pen and move to the next point. So the continuity is breaking at the point of integer. So we can say that the functions are continuous at all those points which are equal, at all those points of real numbers which are not equal to integers, means excluding integer point, the functions are continuous. Then what is case 2 is saying here? Case 2, it is D2. The domain is what? Our set of integers. Suppose if I choose any C which is belonging to the integers, means which is C which is belonging to the Z here. So if I choose here, so from the set of integers I choose one point, say C which is belonging to the Z here, and if I choose R which is greater than 0, but this R is very small, a very small point, very small value, or a very small real number. I am choosing a very small real number like 0.00001. It might be like that small, but which is greater than 0. Then what does the value of the function becomes? What is the function value becomes when I say C minus R? If I take a point C minus R, means what does the function value becomes? F of C minus R, it will be equal to box C minus R here. So box C minus R means clearly C was a real number. From that I have subtracted that very small point like 0.0001. So C minus 0.001 means the value becomes something which is small than this integer. So that value will be equal to what? That value will be equal to C minus 1. Suppose if I explain this one by taking one of the random example, means suppose if I choose C is equal to 2 and R is equal to like 0.001. Then what is the value of box C minus R? It will be equal to 2 minus 0.001, right? So 2 minus 0.001 means it will be clearly 1.999, something like this, right? So now this value will be equal to what? This value will be equal to 1, right? Box value of this one is equal to what? That will be equal to 1. So that is nothing but what? C was here 2 and value was 1, means what? Clearly C minus 1 value which is less than the C. That only I have written here, C minus 1. Now what is the value of C plus R is going to happen? That is nothing but F of C plus R. So F of C plus R is C box value of C plus R. Box value of C plus R means it will be equal to what? Something which is greater than C. So box value of that one is C, because if I choose here same value C plus R, I am talking about C plus R means 2 plus 0.001, it becomes what? It becomes box value of 2.001. So box value of 2.001 is equal to 2 itself. So here C value is equal to C itself. So here you can see C. Now you have the value of CR, means if we are approaching towards the C from the left side, means that is c minus, if I choose any one small value means it will, the function value is c minus 1. If we are approaching towards the c from the right side means the function will be equal to c. Clearly our left hand limit is not equal to right hand limit, that is c minus, that is f of x, it will be equal to what here, f of x is equal to c minus 1. If we are approaching towards the c from the right side means the function value is equal to c. Clearly our left hand limit is not equal to the right hand limit, therefore the function is not continuous at the set of points of integer, that is the points of discontinuity. The points of discontinuity is what here, the points of discontinuities are set of integers. At the points of integers the functions are discontinuous. So these are the some of the example questions which is based upon the continuity of the function, whether the function is continuous or not, checking the continuity or discussing regarding the point of discontinuity. So if you have any doubts regarding these examples you can ask me at any time. So the next part of the discontinuity I am going to explain it in the next part of the video. Thank you students.